greatest sales line I've had yet was the two guys who go to McDonald's where you can like, it's 25 now, but it's under $20. You start putting in a CKD and then there's a mental. Play this game, I got to get the cat to this guy to play his handbook and a month. That's just not the case. But no one's going to see that. Realistically, you know that. When someone mentioned me that 3-book paradigm, that's going to play into it, and they were saying they got to have all these books. So it runs into a danger of overly complicating with really a graceful, simple system.
Yeah, because that's part of the whole concept of Minecraft. Real simple game, but the basic concept is so simple. You can do anything with it. It's a tinker's paradigm for it. And everyone who wants to tinker with games is like, for anyone who plays with game, you're generally a game changer. They love to tinker, make their own rules. We've given them a basic tool for improve like now we've created the CKG, tinker, and given you sort of sets of tinker tools. And I'm sort of afraid that people are going to consider them, this is my worst fear, they will consider some of the rules in there canon. The fact of the matter is, not a single solitary word in the book is canon. They're ideas.
You know what helps with that is like right off the bat, here's the, we gave us the chapter here, option 1, option 2, option 3, the chapter, so this is the first one. You're looking at it, here are different ways to do it.
Right.
Right off the brain takes your brain out of the,
That's what
and I don't know how it's going to flood out, because I haven't seen the final edit. But when we first discussed it, I said that there's going to be 3 options for every single rule. So everyone likes this critical hits. I don't use critical hits. I hate them. They're unfair to players, I think.
You really don't want to play in Davis. Don't talk.
I don't pull the punches. I get a swing 100 times a night. You get a swing at me 10 times a night.
Yeah,
I'm going to beat you now. Percentage-wise, you're going down. So I don't use critical hits, but everyone likes critical hits. So the idea was that there would be 3 critical hit options to choose from, like a low fantasy.
Yeah, we got it. It's not in that, but we broke it down into 3 kind of basic stuff. High fantasy.
And the idea is that hopefully people will see there's 3 options. There's not a canon. You can choose, or you can make it your own. And I remember the initial writing for the critical hits I did. It had 3 basic options, and then like three variations on each of those options. So there were like 9 options.
It's got to be a little bit. But that's the only way we actually brought Mac back on board on the project. Constantly interested for sure. There's nothing in here. That all said, I've discovered as we break it into some of it I'm dropping. I'm not, because my job was to do. I have to write that section where it's really just role playing. Davis is kind of the rules heavy in case it's sort of a middle type deal and involved. And I've noticed by chapter 6 I've kind of dropped some of that. But it's really like the weather. I don't really give. There's 2 ways to do weather. One very simple, one very kind of complicated. But yeah, we're trying to follow that through, and we're hoping that really does, because the fear is, and Max pointed this out to me innumerable times, the fear is that you create the CKG, you're going to create a lag on the pH wrong itself. Or self-contained. Or it's an easy, I should say. And then we got a flag for the entity, not the base too low.
So maybe we'll delay the release.
Yeah, we're doing a great job of de-selling it.
Yeah, all that said, it's got a lot of cool stuff.
It's awesome!
On the other side, just the happenstance of marketing, because of all the things it took to get here, you're going to have a large initial people wanting to see it just because.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely got that thing. And the other side to just the reality.
You're going to have that there's going to be 1 to 3 people who will invariably. I can't remember our nemesis on the board in 2002, 2003. There was actually 2 instances. One guy who hated us personally. He never met us, but he personally hated us, and he would post on every single board every night for like 2 years. How much he hated us, and destroyed everything.
Mostly our
those boards.
Yeah. But so he complained about every single one of our products, and he was one of those guys who would go through and he'd read something and say, on page 34, they left an A out on the 3rd paragraph, or whatever. Eventually we met him and we got along. He still hates. But
he was the one. He was actually the one who they was going to RPGNet right at the book. Yeah, and just slammed everything.
Oh yeah, the world builder one was the other one I was thinking of.
Back there, it said a book of lists, but somewhere I had I know, I said, it's not a book, I don't know what, it's something,
There was
but it's
something.
clearly a booklet, and he was just bitching. And the thing is finally got him on the, I don't know, the private message, something, email, I don't know.
No, it was a message, it was a public message board. Yeah, I got kicked off.
The guy later confessed he never read any of it. He just hated us. But at the time, Todd was running the mail order department, and the World Builder direction went through the roof. It was hysterical.
I wish I
kept telling them, keep picking a fight because this is
it was like RBGNet, which isn't, now RBGNet's not too kind to us, but they're not really bad.
Not even
I mean,
it used to be.
It used to be sort of bad, but I mean, there's some really cool people on there that like the product.
I think part of TLG.
But what happened? This was fun because it was like 75 pages of argument. It was on the top of that page for 3 months, and our sales just exploded. So if there's a little controversy, disagreement, or anger about it, and we're like, hey.
And Dave's is a little antagonistic anyway.
In fact, I may go just like push some button. Or I can play devil's advocate. I can go on the internet. This product sucks. And then go in there and defend it. I'm like, no, it doesn't. Get an argument with myself.
Yeah, there you go. Dude, do you have any questions about the CKG, anywhere, where we are, what's happening? I think we covered most of it.
Especially World Building, we've done a lot of prior art in that. So like the second edition guide is really good. There's been a lot of stuff when we start talking about physically building a world. There's a lot of stuff about travel, there's 4 different variants of that. How much you guys look at things like that? And what's been done before and try to figure out, okay, what's actually worked in these other games that we might want to.
Hey, you want to answer that or you want me to answer?
You go ahead and answer.
No.
We've been getting, here's the deal. Yeah, because I think most of that chapter I wrote, since I've been playing for, I think I picked up the first one in 1976. I've been playing since 1976. I'm doing archaeology and anthropology. Spent most of my life outside. But I've read all these games. So all that residual knowledge just sort of sits back there in textbooks and whatever. And I just sat down and wrote what I.
And I've never read
I don't know if it'll work.
any of it. I started playing with Dave in '77.
Oh,
AD&D. Mac probably, I think it was Todd Gray, way back in the '80s, or it might have been you, probably you, brought some rule out of DM's guide. And we've been playing AD&D for probably 10, 12 years. And never looked at any of it except the encounter test. That's all I'd ever used. And I got mad at Mac, and he pulled this weird rule out, but he could do something. I was like, all right, you want to bring the DM's guide into it? And I just started doing it. I've never read it. To this day, I've never read any of those books. I have not read the player's handbook. Boring. So when you get this, the CKG, there's a lot of residual from Davis and just stuff that I've picked up here and there. The only book that I have access to books in the editing and writing process on my end of it, and it's Gary Gygax's World Builder and Gary Gygax's Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, Dungeon Master.
Well, Ken says he played Advanced Dungeons. He played Advanced Dungeons.
Yeah, well,
he didn't really play Advanced Dungeons. What he played was the old blue book rule where you only went up to 3rd level. You remember that, you know? And then the advancement chart for the VA. That's what it is.
I remember the day I would just like roll it 12. That's Steve, I try to see something, roll it 4. Whatever dice came up, and this God knows what, there was no mechanic to it. It was just me doing whatever. But no, yeah. So we and I'm actually trying to steer away from that so that it's either going to make it or fail on its own merits from the forward games. And that's pretty much how all of our stuff is. So I mean, we don't. We access each other's about it. I don't play any. I play Gamma World, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, Castle Crusade, one game of 3rd edition and one game of 2nd edition. That's all I've ever played. Yeah, I play Traveler sometimes, but that's it. So I don't even have that extensive. But Davis and I used to be board gamers. You know, we played Avalon Hill games and stuff like that. That's kind of what I started with. There's very little that. But there's a whole lot of archaeology, and my degrees are in history. So there's a whole lot of that stuff.
Yeah, so the approach to that, this was the idea. Again, I haven't seen it in a while now. I wrote it last year.
Nobody knows.
In the end, I wrote an introduction, as I recall.
Yeah, I think I got it.
And I think it was the one on suspension of disbelief. And
Yes, that's the forward.
okay.